Welcome everybody here to a brand new season of the Dota Champions League. I'll be your host for the English live stream tonight, Toby1, bringing you our first series of the competition. We've only got one for you tonight, but don't worry, at the start of every single week, Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays maybe, a couple of games here and there, we'll work our way through the season until we get ourselves to the LAN files, which details are yet to be disclosed. For now, I know what you want. It's what you came here for. It wasn't to see my mug on a camera. It was to see Power Rangers going up against Virtus.pro. It is the greatest way we can really start. Power Rangers, a team that's just come off the back of course, spoiler alert, their win in a best-of-3 series. That was off the back of a nice Broodmother pickup as well, and I kind of like just watching these guys play. Ever since also Scandal has become almost this permanent stand-in for them, it's just been great times all around for the Power Rangers lineup. So depending on where you put your res, well actually, let me just double check that quickly as well, because right now, as far as the Dota Lounge, which shout out to the boys, they are also a sponsor of the tournament, 61% of people said the Power Rangers will end up taking the victory over up against Virtus.pro, and really, it's not that much of a surprise. Virtus.pro, they have been looking shaky. This is the primary squad, but it's kind of been the never-ending bit of a joke around the scene that Virtus.pro Polar, now known as Zeus, but still known as Polar, has basically been outperforming the primary Virtus.pro squad left, right, and center, which is also kind of funny when you look at the roster for Virtus.pro, when you have people like Jodam, BZZ, God, Sidoy, as well as Yol. These guys are some of the greatest players that CIS has to offer, but working as a squad and making the right decisions, that's kind of been where they're fallen apart. So we'll see if they can pull themselves together here for their first game of the series, and they've already got themselves a bit of a winning combination. Not the combination itself, just the heroes that create the combinations, and that's in IO as well as Wisp. Why the hell do I even call him IO? Wisp as well as Axe. So Axe been putting a lot in the initial 2 bans, but when you see heroes like Sniper being banned out, you understand why. Sniper is such a huge damage dealer so early on with a massive amount of range on him. It's mainly from the assassination, but he's able to help that any kind of side ganks coming into the mid lanes. He's able to outzone mid lane because you've got this wonderful shrapnel ability. You've got everything you kind of want from just that one hero, apart from mass survivability, and that's where you have support heroes, which surprisingly too also were completely ignored at the start of this. Where is the Vengeful Spirit? Hasn't even been touched in the early stages, and maybe this also comes down to the fact that as far as heroes go, well, I know Virtus.pro pick it up a hell of a lot, thanks as well to Card, who's our stats man for this evening. He actually flashed me over and said, you know what, like, the #1 pickup hero is actually only picked up once more in the last 25 games for Virtus.pro than it is for Power Rangers, but it's the Dazzle. These teams, they really like their Dazzle. 6 times in the last 25 games for Virtus.pro, where Power Rangers have taken it 5 times within the last 25 games. They have, however, taken the hero, which I'm talking about, the Vengeful Spirit, 7 times. So no surprise there whatsoever, and that's probably every time it got out of the ban pool. But in this scenario, Power Rangers, well, they could still go. We're into our second phase anyway. The Brewmaster pickup is already here. So solid here no matter where you throw him. Up against the Axe, a lot better too, unless as long as he can get the split off, of course. And a Batrider pickup.
Virtus.pro's turn to pick.
Interesting hero to pick into something like a Wisp. Primarily because Wisp is really fantastic up against Batrider. We can go back to the classic, well, if you want to go back almost a year now, you could look at the Wisp relocate saves out for Batrider. It was the almost instant way you knew you could save anybody from a lasso, because all you do is just sit back a little bit further in the fight and make sure you're still within tether range and trigger your relocate, tether down, and the Batrider can't drag him away. In fact, you just drag that person back not too far. In fact, you can drag him back to exactly where you were before, if that works. Yeah! Hang on. Just gotta make sure my jeans are on tight. Punch pick up for Power Rangers. With the Brewmaster and the Batrider and the Dazzle. I want to know how this Pudge is going to be played. Because right now, you could run him Dendy style, which isn't always mid. You can actually run him as a safe lane hero. You get some early drums when you're ready to really fight. You got that level 7. Because then again, you had to wait for level 7 with the hook because of the range. Now you don't really have to do that anymore. So maybe that style doesn't work at all. But if you put him in the middle lane, you could be going up against a Wisp-Axe combination. And maybe that's also not the happiest place in the world for a Pudge to be.
Remaining.
But considering also the Skywrath Mage is picked up, where's your damage output coming? They need some big physical damage here, Virtus.pro. If they're going to bring down that massive flesh heap of just turd. Not to mention, they're still going to get through the Brewmaster, and they're going to be committing the silence at least from Skywrath Mage, and they need another long stunner to come here. Either that or Virtus.pro just go full steep right now, and they try and go for an aggro lane. But if that Pudge is run on safe lane, he levels up Hook, he drank the Skywrath Mage onto the tier 1 tower, your aggro lane is dead. And your creep skipping can't be done simply either, just because of the range of that pullback. You could do it from even in the tree line behind the tier 1 tower on the top. Power Rangers are really, really secure with these pickups. I'm just concerned right now that Virtus.pro don't have what it takes to fight in the lanes. A defensive Clockwork Cog, well, maybe that would stop the Pudge from being able to throw his Hook. But that'll be the only thing that will save a Clockwork. The second he locks himself inside of his own cogs, Pudge is a free target here. So if this Pudge gets a Blink Dagger and that Clockwork just tries to go defensive cogs, then trouble is a brewing. Trouble is definitely a brewing. Alright, so Power Rangers, how are you going to run this? We could also flag the fact that support Pudge is not beyond the realms of possibility here. Virtus.pro believe that it's actually... Well, actually, judging by their draft, they're thinking this is actually a support Pudge, and we go with a Huskar. Oh, do they have any damage? Does Virtus.pro actually have any damage? Like, at least the counter Helix is physical, but you're not going to rely on that to find kills up against Huskar as well as Pudge. Your magical damage comes out from the Skywrath Mage. It's almost that you got to push everything you've got into physical DPS now. Maybe another reason also why this Gyrocopter has been banned out.
10 seconds remaining.
But we got Huskar as well as Pug. And a Morphling pickup is our reaction here. So, he can provide a large amount of physical DPS. I'm still going to say that that's going to take a little bit too long to get online. And you're picking up a Morphling when, sure, there's not a huge amount of control. But you do have it through the Dismember as well as through the Lasso. And that may just be enough time to just rip apart the Morphling. So Power Rangers trying something new, different and unusual. I like it. I like it a lot. So let's get ourselves into it. If you also want to buy up on the ticket, if you haven't seen that yet, you can contribute to the prize pool. D2CL have gone next level for Season 5 of their event, where they've really put a lot more time and effort into getting some cool stuff. So we have the D2CL HUD, as well as Skywrath Mage set, Slark Blink Daggers, and all that other jazz. And if you haven't bought the Broodmother set yet either, it is also available inside the Dota 2 store. So go pick it up. It all contributes to raising the prize pool for these players, which are competing up. Sure, we may not have the top teams around the world, aka Secret is not playing in this one, but still, it's a great opportunity for a lot of these teams to compete for some good prize money. Alright, so Virtus.pro, they know mid to late game, if they don't have a really good start, they are so totally boned. So Virtus.pro, they're going to move out a 5-man smoke and try to come into the Power Rangers jungle. Find those opening kills if possible. The Power Rangers are taking no chances here. Sun Ra, he's a long way up here as the Huskar over on the top. Just to also flag that for anyone who might question that too. A lot of people are calling him. I know Cap still calls him this as well. I'm one of the few that go against the grain. Didi Ra, if you actually translate it, is Son of Ra, or in short, Sun Ra. Hence, his name is actually Sun Ra.
To battle.
We asked him about it one day. Alright, so he's the Huskar up on top. So just in case you get confused during the game when you hear me calling him Sun Ra, and you're used to Didi Ra. Alright, so J4 will be the Dazzle, put Saniko over on top of the Pudge, in towards the middle lane, Scandal. God, I love watching this guy play. Also a really, really nice guy. He'll be taking the Brewmaster in towards mid, and that leaves Cheshire Cat. The off lane, Boots first, as well as Tango, given Batrider will be on the off lane. Jordan will be playing up the role as the Wisp, going to pick up that 100 rune at the start. Well, okay, he's going to be delayed picking it up, but still, this will be a very, very early bottle in for the Wisp. He might be just be babysitting the Clockwork as well, instead of babysitting the Morphling in the mid. Depending where he's needed should depend on where he goes. But the Morphling will go in towards the mid, and that leaves a Skywrath as well as an Axe on the bottom lane. So we get a number 1 position Axe. He has got to get these Tranquils into Blink Dagger, and I'm assuming it's actually going to be a Vanguard very early on as well, judging by the Stout Shield. But that'll be the Skywrath, the the axe in the bottom lane. The Skywrath Mage's job to make sure Cheshire Cat comes nowhere near him. It looks like the Wisp is going to work in combination with the Morphling. This has to be a waveform into Tether, then the user slow to inflict more damage. But with Scandal fighting so deep underneath this tier 1 tower here, I don't know if it's even really possible for God to try and fully contest him. And God is one of the more aggressive mid-solo players. He likes to get up in your face. That's why I'd prefer to see him along the playing heroes who have kill potential. Some heroes like, for example, yeah, this is support punch. Heroes on the line of like Lina. That's a better choice in my mind for someone like him. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say as well, considering Lina is not your normal mid-solo quap or anything along those lines if you want to become a little bit more normal. But anything which gives him killing potential. And Sadoya is not going to have himself an easy time up on top lane. Sunrise is going to Burning Spear him at every single time. Wow, Cheshire Cat, you're not looking too healthy there, man. Stick charge from the axe. He's already got himself a little easy path cut around. And our first blood is actually here on the bottom lane. He just died the tower? He dies the dire side anyway. Technically, that's our first blood right there. As the Skywrath Mage just came a little bit too close to the flames. The Cheshire Cat can't get any closer, but he still managed to get close enough to grab 3 levels worth of experience on this offlane. And now be praying for a regeneration rune. He's not lucky enough to get that though. It'll only be an invis. Here's that waveform into Tether combo, but Scandal is too close towards his tower. And this Morphling doesn't inflict any level of damage. Even then Wisp leveled up Overcharge as opposed to leveling up the Wisp ball, so he doesn't really increase any damage there too. Cheshire Cat, I think he really meant to take that Centaur Hoof Stomp while he's invis. He's just leeching the experience while he can hide in the invis. They need something to give him vision on the high ground. Okay, so when Pudge stands in the right spot and the light moves off the gas cloud, they can take out that Observer Ward. So Bottle has finally arrived now for God, so he can be a little bit more spammy. Brewmaster, well, it's the same kind of thing for him as well. The only difference is the courier for the dire side is a long way down the bottom lane. So it's going to take a little bit longer for the Bottle to arrive to the Brewmaster. But it should still arrive there in time for him to trigger the 3 charges and then look for the 4-minute rune. Nice stacking coming out here from Virtus.pro too. Don't know if they really want to try and just... Whoop, hello, tether up. Too far away again. They really need that slow from Jottam to kick in to stop Scandal from getting back to base, back to the tower. Especially when he doesn't have mana for a clap. That's the perfect time to try and go for those kills. Now, God. Okay, Courier sniping. Deep under the tier 2 tower. Now they've actually got the movement speed to battle up against Scandal. Unfortunately for VP, they have to back themselves up. J4 does TP. They would expect him to have a Shallow Grave, even though that is not what he has skilled up. And now he has. He's hit level 3. Looks like he came in range of those stacks being farmed up. There's actually Pudge farming with Rot. That's Pudge farming with the dire creep wave that was pulled up. Alright.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Kind of want to see exactly how he did that. I don't know if it was... I wasn't watching the full path of it. I kind of want to almost go back to the replay and check that one out too. I don't know if he's hooking up a creep and then taking damage for it. No, he actually hooks the Satyr down, so then he drags the creep wave up. Okay, now we've cottoned on to what this little sneaky Pudge is all about. And then by doing so, he can drag the creep wave, if not all of it survives, if some of it survives, over towards the next camp. And farming that one up, while Cheshire Cat is now trying to take out the stacks of Jottam. Always a bit of a danger when you're going up against a Bat Rider and you don't have anyone ready to do a quick farm up of those stacks. So Power Rangers have just pulled in a hell of a lot and taken away a hell of a lot as well from Virtus.pro, because now they're not even controlling up the middle lane. It's all going the way of Scandal because we've got every second or third wave going the way of the Pudge. And he's able to find levels here. The only downside for PR is the fact they lost their courier. And that's actually quite a critical thing. But what's not so critical about is the fact that Scandal still had his bottle charges available. He still had his bottle on top of him. Waveform, 1 second, Scandal is dead. He'll waveform over the tree line. And that's our official first blood. As the viewers get to witness it, and so do I. So yeah, what happened on bottom lane doesn't officially count as first blood. So we have the unofficial first blood and the official first blood. And so this is how Cedo tries to hold the lane off. So be careful about that Huskar. So we're going for an armlet rush over on the Huskar. Huge amount of armor on him early on. Morphling. He'll need more damage than that if he's going to, again, bring down Scandal from full life. The continuous chip harassment's really, really good because they're running double bottles here in the mid lane. So God and Jotum should always be at full life and mana as long as they can keep on controlling these runes, which is what you're seeing him do now. In fact, Yol's even coming down here to just be a tether boy. Pudge, looking for the line. Now, how much do they see? Not a hell of a lot. Now they will actually see the Skywrath Mage hook well off target, and they're just going for Cheshire Cat. The call's nice, but the TP support's coming in. Man, that Rot really doing some work here from Sneeko with J4 with the heal. Jotum, he's trying to run himself away. The problem is he's having to burn himself up to get BZZ away to safety. Jotum will die in the tree line here. The creep was chasing him. Okay, he's going to try and tether in 1 second. Not going to happen. Sneeko latches the hook. Being involved now in 2 kills. Nice thing for him, but Virtus.pro kind of looked like they were going to get the upper hand there when the hook just completely wafted from Sneeko. And then all of a sudden, whoop! Again, the stray hooks fly to the side. Yeah, but then that Rot came in. The level 2 Rot with the boots over on the Pudge. And they had no way to really escape from that one. Skyref made sure he's got himself... wait, are they hunting against still in the jungle? Sneeko's coming in to try and put down an observer ward up here so they can see when the stacks are happening. But at the same time, they kind of have to know he was around here. I think Yol caught a glimpse of him. But with Cheshire Cat also enabled, they go to concussive shot. Sneeko, he's looking for a good line here to get the hook shot. But he needs more vision. The Bat Rider currently is not providing any of it. He might in a moment though. Jotum quite visible, but even if you get a hook shot here, he's just going to tether himself away, and Jotum knows it too. I think Sneeko knows it as well. Does force out considerable damage, but he's still got a couple of bottle charges, and the Pudge, he's out of mana, so there's no hook shots available. In fact, he's just spending all of his cash right now, realizing he's going to die, might try and deny himself up to the big Alpha Wolf. There is some nice crit damage to come out from him. Sneeko, here comes your waveform. 4 heroes to kill a support Pudge inside the jungle. And Cheshire Cat should probably be TPing himself away from here sometime soon. I think though he wants to go for one last farm. Well, he can't stack it. We get an 8-minute Huskar armlet. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. 50 CS up on that top lane. He's not the highest net worth on the field. That one belongs to the 2-0 Morphling. He's also managed to find just shy of 50 CS in that mid lane. Without any deaths to his name, God's pulling in a hell of a lot of cash. Which means this, like, God's the primary problem. Oh, Cheshire Cat, the head don't have a stun. So he's fine and dandy. However, Scandal, maybe not. Seal, it's a 2-level. He can't go anywhere. Walk underneath the sentry wall while having an invis rune. The chances of the sentry ward being in that position is also quite, well, unlikely when you're 9 minutes into the game, unless you're searching for the observer wards. But the fact that he ends up dying and the 2 sentries are well away from the dire observers. Sure, Brewmaster died, never a great thing, he's your mid-solo, but I suppose you're keeping your vision over on the Radiant side. Whoop, I take that back. There goes one of them. Okay, no, there's no upside. There is no silver lining to this cloud. Brewmaster. God's fine. He's just enjoying himself in that mid lane. Being a little over-aggressive. I'm wondering how long it's going to be until Huskar does anything. Because right now Huskar is just chilling on top lane. He continues to farm up. But he's got to come and join these fights. Maybe he's just waiting for a big one to erupt. Clockwork, hook shots in, but he caught the Pudge and not the Brewmaster. And Brewmaster just goes into the split. Pudge, there's no way to get himself out of this one. With that Mystic Flare as well as Waveform, it was too much damage. And the 2 supports, well, like one off-laner as well as 1 support will be going down right now. Yol try and juke it up and down. But Huskar, well, yeah, he was waiting for the fight to begin. He's got life break in 1 second time. He just needs to have that vision up. And maybe extra life points on the call! Not even required.
Axe warms his blade in
the downside about running a Huskar up against both an axe, well, and an axe. He's too much of a man for a Huskar. Because you can't just sit in your low lives and say, well, I'm going to tank up all of your damage. Because Axe isn't dishing out the physical damage, and the Culling Blade, all you're looking for is that kill threshold. Sure, the damage is still magical, but it doesn't stop the kill threshold. So they do have ways to put down this Huskar, no matter how late the game goes. At the same time, Huskar did a hell of a lot of damage before that Axe was able to put him down. And you can guarantee yourself the BZZ is going to be a primary focus of this PR lineup when Huskar is going in. They have to keep that Axe disabled. I don't care if it's Yule Scepters, if it's actually the Brewmaster Stormbrueling, if it's a Pudge going in for a Dismember on top of an Axe, he won't get the kill, but he will be able to control it to make sure the Axe can't get close enough to damage down the Huskar. Mid-tier 1 tower gets to go the way of God, so again, huge amount of money coming his way. We're going to go for an early Ultimate Orb. He can go either way with this one if he wants to go directly into a Skadi. If he's looking for a Lincoln Sphere build, which might also be an option up against the Bat Rider, or he could just go in for a little bit more of a Senate Manta style. And PCZ, for a man with a Blink Dagger and ways to put people down, he is very, very scared in this bottom lane, and rightfully so. Sunrise moved himself down here. He's with Cheshire Cat. He's already got his Blink Dagger up and running with the Lasso and the Pudge with the level 6. So dismember as possible. The Observer Ward's watching Scandal come down. He doesn't know if he's Blink Dagger yet. And God just running in to the pit, but it's on bottom lane, which is BZZ. Hook shot in, they run him to death. Meanwhile, a little bit further up, you do have that hasted God chasing after them, the Morphling, Shallow Grave plus the TP out. He didn't put a single point into Adaptive Strike, and now Johnham, Tether still on cooldown. He's going to burn up. So the Axe dies on bottom lane. The Wisp also taking a fall back near the Dire Ancients.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
While God might have got out of there, they're still losing too many heroes across the map. Because now Virtus Power Rangers just do this. Remember, even if you do have the Axe being able to Culling Blade somebody down, you still need to bring him to a point of the kill threshold for anything to really happen. Rocket Haze over on the Clockwork. It didn't actually connect over on the Morphling, but the Clamp already going to make Morphling a little bit more. Wait! Whoops! That wasn't really meant for Cheshire Cat, but I suppose I'll take it. I was meant to drag God back in range to that tier 2 tower. Now Sun Ra, Armlet toggle time. He's already led with that in Vitality. And they're looking over towards the Morphling. Where's your damage? There's too much coming out from VP for Sun Ra to stick around here. Now Armlet, he's waiting for it. J4, he's got to hold on to that Shallow Grave. Where is, however, well, Axe has already managed to kill off the Huskar, so yeah, my question gets answered. When Huskar sits that low, he still always has to be so careful. So Huskar down for the count. There he goes, 7-7. Just one kill on Huskar's already worth 940 experience. But when he's been running a safe lane, it's no surprise. What player has done the most amount of damage with a meat hook? You know what? I'm not actually going to say Dendi on this chat trivia. I'm not going to say Dendi. Instead, I'm actually going to say someone who I don't know if people will agree with me or not. But I'm going to say it's Black of formerly Vici Gaming. Is where my mind's going to go. Because he played a lot of Pudge when he was playing back in Mousebots, and they had some really long, drawn-out games on that Pudge. Black is 4th. Well, okay. Well, I take it back then. Just... Something tells me it's a trick question. That's why I wanted to try and go for someone else that wasn't Dendi. Because everyone just thinks of Dendi Pudge. The other options would be something like S4.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh god, he's about to get really over-aggressive here. Oh, maybe not. I'm close with S4. I'll wait till the answer comes up. I've already put my things in there, so my process of elimination, everyone. It's either Dendi or the rest of the world. Cheshire Cat, you don't want to be going for this one. You just want to be soaking up the experience on bottom lane. If there is a chance, it'll come off the back of him cancelling TPs up towards the top lane.
Dire's
Or
bottom
TPs coming down to him. And the TPs are already on their way in. So Blink Lasso. God can't do anything about Cheshire Cat. However, Jottam, God just has to move back. But no, he tethered too early. So he didn't get pulled away. They get the kill on the Wisp. The rest of Virtus.pro is moving down south. The Dire Observer Ward's watching the clockwork. And now God, nice jump in. They're getting this very quick kill over on the Huskar. Give him a bump up. However, the drag back into the Dismember over on the Morphling. The hook shot didn't really do its work, but the Mystic Flare will the Scandal. Maybe the Shallow Grave a little bit too early. This still will ensure the fact that he gets his split off. They need more control. The Axe up and towards the air. The Dazzle's going to get rocketed down by Seedoy. God's still looking for a better target, but who's he going to wait for? At this point, it just looks to be the Brewmaster. Now stun over on BZZ, send them all pulling up, and Scandal, still no Blink Dagger on him. They found a new target, it's the Bat Rider. Can't blink, already used to get down. And the rocket was used for a kill, so it couldn't be used to scout either. Still Power Rangers not coming up on top of these engagements. It's Virtus.pro who are the ones who are controlling the fight quite nicely. So, tier 1 tower on bottom lane, I think it is now forfeit. You do have the Bat Rider on the front lines, but with no lasso, PCC just blinks and calls him. Huskar needs to slow this one down somehow. He burns up already over on the Axe, but Cheshire Cat's all the way back, and he can't come back into the fight when he wants to, which is in 3 seconds time when he has the lasso up, unless someone overstays their welcome by a long, long way. And they're not doing so. In fact, Scandal's not even there. He's trying to farm up on the top lane, which God is now going to put an end to. Waveforms up after he already went for the clap. So there was no more damage the Scandal could deal to God. Cheshire Cat, where are you going? It's not Black, it's not Jenkins. Dendy a second, it's Loader.
Tower is under attack.
Loader had the most damage. Huh. I suppose we probably should have looked at the lineup, which potentially could be running someone like a Pudge, but would make a game last over 2 hours. And that'll be Alliance. The older version of Alliance, of course.
Bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tier 1 towers falling left, right, and center. So both the tier 1s are lost on the bottom. And that is the final tier 1 tower for Power Rangers to drop now, as they've already lost their mid tower. Power Rangers are going to have to work twice as hard to keep their map control up. Actually going to try and go in for a quick Roshan attempt. It's going to be difficult for Sunrise to get on top of this, even with Dazzle helping him out. They don't have another physical damager. Like, Pudge is it. I mean, like, not as in physical damager, but could be your tank. And it might be a good idea for him to get in there. And right now, it kind of feels like he's just a hook-out savior. Oh, he missed the hook! And that's going to cost Sunra his life. The last whoever pulling Axe back out of the cogs. And maybe Huskar with the armor. Tonga's got enough life points. Roshan still down very, very low. Sunra, he does pop out right now, but BZZ will follow directly after that with orbs flying left, right, and center. Jottam will take a fall as the rest of VP, though, are fighting inside the fire and the flames of the Bat Rider, as well as the Brewmaster Ultimate Seedoy. In fact, locked inside the cogs, but he does it on purpose so God can push the Nico back out again. Jumps to the replica. God, one more attack. The orb. It's not enough damage. He'll survive because of the bottle charges. Even though he doesn't have a single point up in Flesh Heap, he survives for the bottle charges and the bottle charges alone. And God will try and finish up Roshan. I say try, he will succeed. And Power Rangers will be too late to get there unless Roshan's going to continue to bash God. Scandal. Oh, he could blink clap and then with the hook, they could find themselves a pickup. But all they'll be doing is breaking the Aegis Immortal and putting their own life in jeopardy again. So Power Rangers just back the hell up. Not the greatest decision they ever made to try and go in for Roshan. Now Axe also has more money. An Aghanim Scepter pre-20 minutes up for him. The support Pudge still really hasn't done as much as I was looking for him to do. Even though, sure, the pulls to the camps was nice and cute. Wasn't exactly what PR we're looking for the Pudge after that. It's going to be a quick farm. Deny and imbalance the mid. Then rotate around and kill whoever you can find. Speaking of who they find, there's Sunra. Call, seal, dunk. Very easy to take care of the Huskar. This axe has just rolled him. Absolutely rolled him.
Dire's bottom tower.
And because of that, God's getting all the space in the world. A full Lincoln Sphere, secondary ultimate orb now up and running. The Lincoln Sphere protected from any initiation coming in from the Bat Rider, because Bat Rider doesn't have enough money to really afford another thing to trigger that Lincoln Sphere. Like, he's got his 4-staff, but he probably wants to use that to drag God back. So he blinks, and then God just kills him. Like, almost. If he... Oh! Okay, he's going to find J4 instead. The clap. Nice, God! Put up on top of a cliffside. Cedo with the cogs trying to isolate them here. You still got the Morphling inside that fire and the flames, and that's why John tried to tether himself up. But the Aegis are still going to go. But the dunks are there. Axe will pick up the Dazzle. They'll take out the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. However, they need the creep wave. They're battling up against backdoor regeneration at the moment. And they just realized it too. The creep wave comes in. Potentially they could push it towards high ground. Sure, you've lost the Aegis Immortal over on the Morphling, but with an Aghanim Scepter on BZZ, with the Mystic Flare still up, you got a lot to play around with. Even okay, there's your call. There's your perfect call. The hook up there from Sneeko was just to save Sunra. I don't think it's actually enough. They're coming in close, and now your Axe, you got a big buff up for the rest of Virtus.pro. They can just keep diving in. The hook from Sneeko, unable to actually latch on to God, which was the intended target. Pull him away from the other cores. As they continue to fight, these bottle charges going left, front, center, and another great movement by BZZ. Blink call, and good game well played. 22-minute GG call comes out from Power Rangers. They just came off the back of stopping game 3 in their 3-game set for the All-Star competition, and here in game number 1 of their 2-game series, the D2CL, they're off to a bit of a rough start. Virtus.pro. They're up 1 game, but this is of course a 2-game series, so there is still a possibility for Power Rangers to come back and level it up. We've got more action coming up for the D2CL. For all the information, you can head yourself over to D2CL.org, or you can find all the details over on joindota.com. If you're wondering what teams have signed up for the D2CL Season 5, Hellraisers, Power Rangers, obviously a lot of razors inside that. Ninjas in Pajamas, Virtus.pro, Team Empire, Meepont, Navi, as well as the Alliance. They're all playing here in the D2CL. Hope you enjoy the show, and our group stage matches will continue in just a moment. Remember, they are going to be played out normally on Mondays and Tuesdays is your day to look over to the Join Dota Red channel. We'll also have some more stuff coming out from Join Dota in the near future. Follow us over on our Facebook, Twitter, all that jazz, and you can follow me as well, Toby1Dota, and I'll let you know wherever I'm streaming, whenever I'm streaming, whatever we're doing. We'll flag it up over there. For now, it's break time, and we'll be back for our next game in just a moment.